Welcome to our channel, where we pay tribute to the legendary American celebrities who have shaped the world of entertainment. From iconic actors and comedians to incredible magicians, we honor the lives and legacies of those who have passed. In each video, we take a closer look at their careers, their impact on the industry, and the unforgettable moments they've left behind. Join us as we remember and celebrate the stars who will always hold a special place in our hearts. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories and tributes.
Roger Corman passes away at 98. Legendary director of The Little Shop of Horrors and icon of independent cinema. Roger Corman, the influential filmmaker often called the King of the Bees, has passed away at the age of 98. Known for his vast contributions to independent cinema, Corman was the director and producer behind iconic films such as The Wasp Woman, 1959, and The Little Shop of Horrors, 1960. He died at his Santa Monica home on Thursday, May 9th. In a statement to the Associated Press, Corman's daughter, Catherine Corman, remembered him fondly. He was generous, open-hearted, and kind to all those who knew him. When asked how he'd like to be remembered, he simply said, "I was a filmmaker, just that." Earlier this year, it was revealed that Corman, alongside filmmakers Joe Dante and Brad Crevoy, was collaborating on a reboot of his cult classic, Little Shop of Horrors, titled Little Ship of Halloween Horrors. Affectionately known as the King of B-movies and the Pope of pop cinema, Corman's legacy is deeply tied to the early careers of many celebrated filmmakers. He was instrumental in launching the careers of a range of stars, including Jack Nicholson, Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, James Cameron, and Francis Ford Coppola. Coppola, in particular, made his early works under Corman's guidance and later reciprocated by casting Corman in The Godfather Part II as a senator involved in the hearings to take down Michael Corleone. Corman's ability to work swiftly was legendary. When given just 2 days to shoot The Little Shop of Horrors, using sets left over from his previous film, A Bucket of Blood, Corman managed to complete the entire film in that short period of time, working overnight to finish it. Over the course of his remarkable 7-decade career, Corman directed more than 70 films and produced over 300, establishing himself as one of the pioneers of independent cinema. His body of work includes memorable cult classics such as The Mask of the Red Death, Death Race 2000, and Piranha. He also became the youngest filmmaker to have a retrospective at the prestigious Cinémathèque Française. Throughout his career, Corman earned more than 40 Lifetime Achievement Awards from various film festivals, culminating in an honorary Oscar in 2009. In a tribute to the late filmmaker, fellow director John Carpenter shared his admiration, calling Corman one of the most influential movie directors in my life. Carpenter went on to describe Corman as a great friend and expressed his gratitude for how Corman's work shaped his childhood, particularly through his science fiction films and adaptations of Edgar Allan Poe's works. Jack Nicholson, another legendary figure who had a long-lasting relationship with Corman, became emotional in previous interviews when reflecting on the profound impact Corman had on his career. Corman's passing marks the end of an era for independent filmmakers. His unique blend of creativity, resourcefulness, and passion for cinema helped shape the landscape of modern filmmaking, and his legacy will continue to inspire generations of filmmakers for years to come. Steve Albini passes away. Revered Nirvana producer dies at 61. Steve Albini, a legendary musician, producer, and engineer, best known for his pivotal role in shaping the sound of alternative rock through his work with Nirvana, Pixies, and many others, has passed away at the age of 61. Albini, who died suddenly of a heart attack, was at his renowned electrical audio recording studio in Chicago when the tragic news was confirmed by Taylor Hales, a colleague at Electrical Audio. Albini's influence on the world of music, both as an artist and producer, leaves an indelible mark on the history of rock. Born on July 22, 1962 in Pasadena, California, Albini's journey into the world of music began in his teenage years. After moving to the Chicago area to attend Northwestern University, where he studied journalism, Albini began immersing himself in the local punk scene, writing for zines and getting involved with local bands. His passion for music, especially punk rock, led him to start recording and engineering for these bands, setting the stage for his future career in music production. From the beginning, Albini was known for his unwavering opposition to the mainstream music industry, which he criticized for exploiting artists. This philosophy guided his career choices and ultimately influenced his approach to both music and the business surrounding it. In 1981, he formed the punk band Big Black, which would go on to release several albums, including an EP on Ruthless Records, a label that Albini co-managed. Big Black's powerful and unrelenting sound captured the spirit of the era and quickly earned them a dedicated following. The band lasted until 1987, but during its short life, it set a high bar for the raw energy and confrontational attitude that would define much of Albini's later work. After Big Black's dissolution, Albini formed the band Rapeman in 1987, taking on the role of lead singer and guitarist. Despite the controversial name, which Albini later expressed regret over, Rapeman gained attention for its abrasive sound and Albini's uncompromising approach to music. The band released an album, 2 singles, and an EP before disbanding in 1988. Albini later called the name Choice flippant and indefensible, acknowledging the negative implications it carried, particularly in retrospect. Undeterred by the dissolution of Big Black and Rapeman, Albini continued his musical journey and founded Shellac in 1992. Shellac, known for their minimalist and tight sound, is a band that remains active to this day, further cementing Albini's legacy as an enduring figure in the alternative rock scene. With his signature guitar style and sharp, precise production approach, Albini's influence can still be heard in Shellac's music, which continues to resonate with fans and musicians alike. However, while Albini's contributions as a musician were significant, it was his work as a producer and engineer that truly set him apart. Albini rejected the traditional role of the producer in popular music, preferring to be called an engineer who simply captured the raw sound of a band without adding unnecessary embellishments. He believed that the best way to preserve a band's integrity was to record them in a way that allowed their true sound to emerge, free of any studio manipulation or interference. Over the course of his career, Albini worked on thousands of records, mostly with underground rock artists. His production work spanned several decades, with notable collaborations including projects with the Pixies, the Breeders, PJ Harvey, the Jesus Lizard, and many more. His contributions helped to shape the sound of alternative rock in the late 80s and 90s, and his influence reached far beyond his own recordings. Perhaps Albini's most significant production achievement came in 1993 when Nirvana, fresh off the success of their groundbreaking album Nevermind, hired him to produce their third record, In Utero. Albini's raw and unpolished production style was a sharp departure from the more polished sound of Nevermind, and the resulting album reflected Nirvana's desire to reclaim their sound and their independence. The recording process for In Utero was tense at times, with frontman Kurt Cobain initially expressing dissatisfaction with the album and considering re-recording parts of it. Albini refused to revisit the material, insisting that the band stick with the sound they had created. The band ultimately brought in REM producer Scott Litt to remix some of the tracks, leading to a version of the album that was somewhat different from what Albini had originally produced. Despite this, In Utero went on to become one of the defining albums of the 90s, with songs like Heart-Shaped Box and All Apologies becoming iconic tracks for a generation. Albini's approach to production was revolutionary in that he focused on capturing a band's authentic energy rather than shaping it to fit commercial standards. John Barbata dies at 79, original drummer of Jefferson Starship, The Turtles, and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. John Barbata, the influential drummer who played on the final Jefferson Airplane album, was a founding member of Jefferson Starship and recorded hit songs with the Turtles, and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, has passed away. He was 79. Barbata died on May 8th in Oklahoma, and his death was confirmed through the official Facebook pages of Jefferson Starship and Jefferson Airplane. Neither page provided specific details regarding his passing. A statement from Jefferson Starship expressed their sadness. "We are saddened to hear of the passing of the great John Barbata, Jefferson Starship's original drummer. Our thoughts go out to his family, friends, and fans. Rock in peace, Johnny." Barbada's drumming was featured on Jefferson Airplane's final studio album, Long John Silver, 1972, and he toured with the band during this time. He also appeared on the live album, 30 Seconds Over Winterland, 1973. When Jefferson Airplane rebranded as Jefferson Starship, Barbada was part of the original lineup, alongside fellow Airplane members, Grace Slick, Paul Kantner, and others. As Jefferson Starship transitioned into a less hard-rocking sound, Barbada played a crucial role in shaping the band's signature sound. He performed drums and provided backup vocals on all of their albums up to Earth, 1978, 3 of which went platinum. One of the band's most successful albums, Red Octopus, 1975, topped the Billboard 200 for an entire month in the summer of 1975. The album featured the hit single Miracles and has sold over 2 million copies. Barbada also played on the band's popular tracks, including Ride the Tiger, With Your Love, and Runaway. However, Barbada's career with Jefferson Starship came to an abrupt end in 1978 after he was seriously injured in a car accident. Following the incident, Barbada had to leave the band to focus on his recovery. Born on April 1, 1945, in Passaic, New Jersey, Barbada later moved to California to pursue a career in music. He started playing in local bands, and after a brief stint in the surf rock group The Sentinels, he joined the Turtles in 1966, marking the beginning of his mainstream success. Barbada played on the group's classic 1967 hit single, Happy Together, which reached number 1. One on the charts, as well as other notable late 60s top 10 hits like Eleanor and You Showed Me. In 1969, just before the Turtles disbanded, Barbada left the band and joined Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, at a time when the group was still riding the wave of their groundbreaking album, Deja Vu. He played on the powerful Neil Young penned anthem, Ohio, which reached the top 15 in the U.S. and remains a rock classic. Barbada also appeared on the band's 1974 live album, Four-Way Street, and continued to collaborate with David Crosby, Stephen Stills, Graham Nash, and Neil Young in various configurations of the group, as well as in solo projects for many years. Beyond his work with Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Barbada also recorded with a variety of notable artists, including Linda Ronstadt, Johnny Rivers, Lee Michaels, Ry Cooder, and the Everly Brothers, further cementing his reputation as a versatile and in-demand drummer. After the car accident that forced him to step back from national touring and major recording projects, Barbada took over a year to recover. By the 1980s, he resumed his musical career, making new albums and performing live. Despite the challenges he faced, Barbada remained a beloved figure in the music world, known for his adaptability and his ability to contribute to some of the most influential musical acts of the 1960s and 1970s. Throughout his career, Barbada's contributions to rock and roll were significant, and his legacy will continue to live on through the countless albums and performances that showcase his drumming talent. His passing marks the end of an era for many fans and fellow musicians who respected his artistry and appreciated his pivotal role in the music of his time.
Illinois honors late-stage manager Thomas J. Gates, killed in tragic train accident. Sarah Bareilles pays tribute. The Broadway production of Illinois has dedicated the entirety of its run to the memory of Thomas J. Gates, the production stage manager who tragically lost his life after being struck by a New Jersey transit train. Gates, 51, was a beloved member of the Illinois team and a fixture of the Broadway stage management community. His passing has left the theater world in mourning, and his memory is being honored by the cast, crew, and those who work closely with him. With heavy hearts, we mourn the passing of our production stage manager, Thomas J. Gates. The Illinois production shared in a statement posted to social media. Tom was the heart of Illinois on Broadway and a dear friend and collaborator to all who knew him. Our thoughts are with his husband, Rick, who is also a cherished member of the Illinois family. These two extraordinary individuals have guided us throughout this journey from the very beginning. We dedicate the entire run of Illinois to Tom in loving memory. The tragic news came just hours before a performance of the musical, leading to the cancellation of the show after the production learned of the incident. The Illinois team made the decision to pause in respect for Gates and his loved ones, taking time to process the shocking loss.
Gates, who lived in South Orange, New Jersey, was struck and killed by a New Jersey Transit train heading to New York's Penn Station at approximately 9:12 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. Initial reports from local news outlets confirmed a fatality at the South Orange station on that morning, though Gates's identity was not disclosed until the following day. A seasoned Broadway stage manager, Gates's career spanned decades and saw him contribute to numerous iconic productions. His Broadway credits date back to 2001's Noises Off, and over the years he became a key part of many beloved shows, including Hairspray, High Fidelity, Newsies, Pippin, The Visit, and Waitress. In addition to his Broadway work, Gates also managed stage operations for several major touring productions, including Chicago, White Christmas, Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and Grease. Off-Broadway, he worked on the 2023 Lincoln Center Theater production of The Gardens of Annuncia. Following a highly successful off-Broadway run at Manhattan's Park Avenue Armory, Illinois made its Broadway debut at the St. James Theater, where it quickly garnered critical acclaim and 4 Tony Award nominations, including Best Musical. The limited engagement of Illinois began on April 24th and was scheduled to run through August 10th. Gates's leadership and steady presence behind the scenes were integral to the show's success, and his colleagues in the cast of Illinois will continue to honor his contributions to the production. Sarah Bareilles, the composer, lyricist, and star of Waitress, paid tribute to Gates on Instagram, remembering him with heartfelt words. He was gentle. He was funny, usually without meaning to be. He was soft-spoken, reliable, generous, loving, compassionate, tired and overworked. But I never heard him complain. He was the first one in and the last one out. He has been a stage manager for many shows over the years and taken care of countless others. But he's the only one I made my first show with who took care of me, Bareilles wrote. Today is unspeakably tragic for many reasons. I can't even put words to it. Tom Gates will be missed and loved. I hope he knew that. Gates is survived by his husband Rick Steiger, a fellow Broadway stage manager known for his work on productions such as Back to the Future, Spring Awakening, War Horse, Flying Over Sunset, and many more. The two shared a deep connection, not only professionally but personally, with both having dedicated their careers to the Broadway community. Steiger's grief at the loss of his husband is immeasurable, and the Broadway community has rallied around him in this difficult time. In response to this tragic event, a GoFundMe campaign has been launched to assist Steiger in the wake of his loss. As of the latest update, the campaign has raised over $88,000 of its $110,000 goal, showing the overwhelming support from the Broadway community and beyond. The GoFundMe page, started by Broadway production stage manager Lisa Iacucci, reads, "Tom was an amazing person, and his death has left a huge hole in the world. If you didn't know Tom personally, there's a great chance you worked with his husband, Rick Steiger, who is also a stage manager in the Broadway community. We are all grieving together, and any assistance will go a long way in supporting Rick during this incredibly difficult time." The support pouring in for Gates' husband is a testament to the deep impact Tom Gates had on the people around him, both professionally and per. Bernard Hill, iconic actor from Lord of the Rings and Titanic, dies at 79. Bernard Hill, the renowned actor known for his memorable roles as Captain Edward Smith in Titanic and King Theoden in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, passed away early Sunday morning at the age of 79. His death was confirmed by his agent, Lou Coulson, although the cause of death has not been disclosed at this time. Hill's acting career spans several decades, with his breakout role in the BBC TV drama Boys from the Black Stuff, where he portrayed the complex character of Yoser Hughes. Hughes was a man grappling with the harsh realities of unemployment in Liverpool, and Hill's portrayal of the character, filled with emotional depth and vulnerability, earned him widespread acclaim. The role marked Hill as a talented actor, capable of portraying both strength and fragility, and it solidified his place as a respected figure in British television. Despite Hill's success in television, it was his film career that introduced him to international audiences. His iconic role as Captain Edward Smith in James Cameron's Titanic in 1997 brought Hill widespread recognition. The film, which went on to become the highest-grossing film of all time at the time of its release, showcased Hill's ability to convey gravitas and authority. Playing the captain of the ill-fated ship, Hill delivered a nuanced performance that added to the emotional complexity of the film, which centered on the tragic sinking of the RMS Titanic. Hill's portrayal of King Theoden in Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings trilogy further solidified his place in cinematic history. In The Two Towers, 2002, and The Return of the King, 2003, Hill brought the character of Theoden to life, portraying the wise and battle-worn king of Rohan, who must overcome personal tragedy to lead his people in the fight against Sauron's forces. His performance was lauded for its emotional depth, and Hill's ability to convey the internal struggle of his character resonated with audiences around the world. Theoden's transformation from a broken leader to a victorious hero became one of the trilogy's most powerful story arcs, and Hill's contribution to the film was pivotal to its success. In addition to his work in Titanic and The Lord of the Rings, Bernard Hill's impressive body of work included notable roles in both film and television. He appeared in the epic 1976 BBC series E. Claudius, portraying the character of Cassius, and later starred in Richard Attenborough's Gandhi, 1982, where he played a British officer involved in the struggle for Indian independence. His versatility as an actor extended across various genres, from historical dramas to modern thrillers, including his role in True Crime, 1999, in which he starred alongside Clint Eastwood, and A Midsummer Night's Dream, 1999, where he took part in the whimsical Shakespearean adaptation. Hill also found success in Hollywood, with performances in films such as The Scorpion King, 2002, in which he appeared alongside Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and the 2008 film Valkyrie, starring Tom Cruise. In Valkyrie, Hill portrayed General Friedrich Olbricht, one of the key figures in the German resistance against the Nazi regime. His portrayal of the complex historical figure added a layer of intensity to the thriller, which dramatized the failed assassination attempt on Adolf Hitler. Born in Manchester, England on December 17, 1944, Hill came from a working-class family of coal miners. His early life was rooted in the gritty realism of industrial England, which influenced his later work as an actor. He initially trained as a teacher before deciding to pursue a career in acting. He honed his craft in British theater and television, eventually transitioning into feature films. Despite achieving fame in major blockbusters, Hill remained grounded and dedicated to his craft, continuing to take on roles in both smaller, independent productions and large-scale Hollywood films. One of Hill's defining qualities as an actor was his commitment to portraying complex, multidimensional characters. Whether playing a historical figure, a fictional king, or a ship captain, Hill brought authenticity and emotional depth to each role, making his characters feel real and relatable. His ability to shift between genres and character types demonstrated his range and made him a sought-after actor in both the UK and internationally. Hill's career was not only marked by his iconic performances on the big screen, but also by his deep respect for the craft of acting. He was known for his dedication to each role and his willingness to immerse himself fully in the characters he portrayed. He was also known for his humility and professionalism, earning the respect of his peers and collaborators throughout his long career. Throughout his life, Bernard Hill maintained a close-knit family life. He was married to Mariana Hill, an actress and